Here we go. Aswand, Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Understand, stories are not necessarily meant to be told. Real stories are meant to be retold. In fact, it was just a couple weeks ago on one of my Top 5 Tuesdays, I counted down my top 5 books that have become movies, and I don't believe I said it in the video, but I'm going to re-emphasize it now. I'm going to tell you how I came up with the idea to put that list together. Was because I ran across an ad, a Disney Plus ad, I think it was, something that was on YouTube feed or something I came across on the internet. It was an ad about this new series, this new Disney Plus series called The Crossover. And being a sports guy, being primarily football, but growing up in the DMV, basketball's always been a sport that has been very prevalent, or an integral part in the way I learned how to do business and things like that. And Crossover, it's a series about two basketball players who were twins, who had a dad that was a big time star, and then he ended up dealing with some sort of an illness, and their mom was the principal. And it kind of takes us through, I didn't watch the whole series, I just watched the trailer. Kind of takes them through the trials and tribulations of being a basketball player, particularly targeting young black boys who are told the only way they can make a contribution to society is that of ball players, and reading's not cool. So I thought the story was interesting, so I just kind of looked deeper into it, and I realized it was a novel first. It was actually a novel, and the name of the book is called The Crossover by 𝐂𝐎 Alexander, right? So that, just seeing that plug intended, seeing that crossover from the book to now Disney Plus series, and then the star of the whole thing was Boobie Miles. That's actually what happened, because I remember I was looking at Antoine Fisher, and I started thinking about Derek Luke and what he's up to. I watched an interview with Derek Luke, and I think he was doing some promo about the crossover, and then him being Boobie Miles and him being Bobby Joe Hill from Glory Road, and all the sports role, and Antoine Fisher, the sports roles that he played. It was like a real perfect situation for him to now be the dad that is going through that or whatever. And then I did more research, because again, all these kinds of things are always intriguing to me, always kind of make me think in terms of how I could take what somebody else has built and apply it, take little things, little gems that they've created, and allow that to spark something in my business and create an opportunity for what it is I'm doing and things of that nature. So did my research, found out the author of the book is actually a 𝐂𝐎 Alexander. Now, for those of you who do not know, I do teach at a school named the Center for Creative Education, and we're a year-round school. So even though I'm recording this I believe it's July 25th or 26th, can't even remember, the days kind of blend together especially at this hour, right? So yesterday we were getting the kids ready, or getting the rooms ready for the kids, and I saw that same book, The Crossover by 𝐂𝐎 Alexander, and I'm like, there you go. We just got a brand new 4th grade teacher, and she and I be working very closely together, and I was telling her a lot of the same things I was telling you about the book in regards to how it became a Disney movie, and this happened and that happened, and the conversation she and I started to have was, she was like, look, I want to have you read it to them, or I want to make it so you read them the book and walk them through the crossover, how that is able to dictate and help them along with their lives, because you're like the perfect person to teach them that. And that's what the Center for Creative Education is all about. It's really about using the intellectual property of others and allowing the kids to see themselves in these authors' eyes, and creating opportunities on their own and all that kind of stuff. And I say all that to say, I know I said a lot, I took you in a lot of different places, but the point of me breaking all of this down for you is for you to understand the power, number one, of putting intellectual property out there, number two, of constantly believing in your work. And regardless, in fact, I want you to, after you're done watching this, go watch the TED Talk that 𝐂𝐎 Alexander did. He titled it The Power of Yes. And in that TED Talk, he spoke very in depth about the fact that this book that has become a movie that has gotten him so many opportunities, that won, I can't remember the name of it, but he won a children's book award, a very prestigious award in the children's author world. He won that award. That same book was rejected by a total of, if I'm not mistaken, 20 publishers. 20 publishers rejected this book that, again, won a children's book award and became a Disney Plus series. 20 people, right? So go listen to the TED Talk in which he documents, he explains it very well. It's called The Power of Yes by Kwame Alexander, right? And and again, the point of me explaining all that to you is, number one, again, the power of intellectual property. Number two, the power of being resilient when it comes to putting your intellectual property out there. And number three, the main point of this entire video, today's entire Move Swiftly thought, is understanding that stories are meant to be retold. Now, stories are not necessarily meant to be told. Yeah, you could tell a story. I can tell stories all day on this thing, but the retelling of the story, and then the retelling of the story, and the retelling ability of your story, that is what's going to make it so it makes a difference in not only your life, but the life of whoever is consuming it, whether they consume it now, whether they consume it 60 years from now, whether they consume it a century from now. It's always going to be your job to make sure your story, and you're putting your story out there in a way in which it can be retold and retold and retold and retold and retold. And that's how you build a business. That's how you build a significant organization that stands the test of time, all right? All that being said, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work, it's makeyourmove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.